Welcome, everyone. We are back again today for another daily teaching. Day 8. The power with words. And words is a big part of my life. Words has changed my entire life. Words are so powerful. And if I was to look back over my journey, let's take the last 10 years, and especially in the last few years with, as I said on a previous call, my connection with God, my spiritual journey, my understanding of Christ, I put that all to words. Words is our truth. We speak it. Words is the law. So we're held accountable to the words that we speak. Words is our will. What we put out comes back, and what we say becomes true. And diving into words has allowed me to find a new passion. There is excitement to learning. And I discovered, and I'd say this is a knowing that I can now share confidently, the English language is the language of the soul in human form. English language is 5D. It gives us freedom. It gives us not just a choice, it gives us so many choices. It helps us communicate and express and experience and feelings into words. And if we went to the ultimate feeling, love, and as we explored, there's many labels that we can attach to love. And the more you go on this journey, having all these unique experiences in presence, and every experience will be unique in presence. Life is a gift, the present. Then you will become more aware of the words that you choose to speak, that you choose to write. Because our words can never give our experience full justice. Words are pointers towards the truth, but words can never be a full truth. Yet we get caught up so much in words, and words people take personally. Words hurt when people speak their truth, or when people speak, words can hurt. And words have so much power, especially with that word positivity. Because every word that comes out of you, written down or spoken, is your choice. Always. You are in control of every word that leaves you. And that might challenge initially. And when we're in conversations with people, we're quite reactive at times. Yet silence is still a choice. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you do say may be held against you. Words hold weight. So if we just start with the Bible, because I like to use a lot of confirmations now. John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word, And the Word was with God. And the Word was God. And that's really powerful, considering it's the first thing of the fourth book in the New Testament of the Gospels. First, there was the Word. And I mentioned that my connection with God has increased so much. And I know I can accredit that to words. So I'm going to quote another one from the Bible, John 2:5. But whoever keeps his word, in him truly the love of God is perfected. By this, we may know that we are in him. So the choice is yours. What you put out comes back. What you say will come true. Well, who answers our prayers? God. Who responds to our thoughts? God. And you will know that we are in him. It's a partnership. And when you are true to your words, it will then bring awareness to your thoughts. And your thoughts will be a lot more truthful. You've got to give a little room for the ego. It'll come and go. But your thoughts will be so much more truthful. So 2 out of 3, words and thoughts. Then your actions, God, you'll shine. Ready, set, action. You will shine in life when you become aware of your words. So we can simplify life down to a choice, ego or soul. And under ego or soul, if we look at words, negative or positive. In the English language, every word will have an opposite. It's the duality of life. It's the mind and body. And with the choice and with the opposite, you become the soul with the choice. You get to choose. And because you have that choice, you can change. The thought comes first, then the feeling, and then the word. So every negative has a positive. And when we did the ego and soul, we went through never, and the opposite is always. The soul is always, every direction. Negative words puts us back in the past in terms of our thoughts. That's what we're talking about. But it brings our feelings now in the present moment. So whatever you speak about will come true. So whatever you go back and use to describe those experiences, those memories, that feeling is going to start manifesting because you put it out there. What you say will come true. So just bring an awareness to that. The negative words is the past, bring any present moment. The positive words are now, and it keeps it open. So never forget. From this moment, go back at that time and never forget what I told you. But you're stopping it dead now. We say, always remember these words. Remember what I told you. Always means from this moment, it's always, it keeps going. So positivity keeps you in flow. Flow, positive. Love, soul. All components, all fall under the same umbrella. So it's very, very simple. So if we looked at word by word, every positive word you speak puts out a positive emotion inside the body. If we looked at it word by word, and I love to break things down now, to slow things down, to put more meaning behind my words. Yet the way we speak is a combination of words. So if we look at a structure as a sentence, and I loved looking at the breakdown of words, like I said, the clues in plain sight. Ents is action or a process. And sent is something you send. So you send a process, which is mind, your thoughts, and an action. There you go, soul. And I even explore putting the mirror in the words. So when you send something, it's been sent, mail, it's been sent in the mail. Well, you are a messenger, and your words is part of the message in. So if I put the mirror in the letter L in mail and reflect it back, it's I am. And it's really powerful because all of these little confirmations, all these little clues, I'm finding these now, purely bringing awareness to my words. And I always now will use different dictionaries to look at the meaning, the origin, the context, syllables. It's brilliant. So bringing more awareness again brings you in flow. So the sentence, when we're speaking in sentences, there's a start and a finish with a full stop to the point. In that sentence, we have stories that we share. So again, a big part of our story is our past. And when we go back to tell our story, that is exactly what happened. And in moments where it has been tough, challenges, hard times, the low points of your life, it's very easy to continue sharing that story with the same words attached, with the same thoughts, which trigger the same emotions. So we get stuck in a cycle based on our words. So at the mind, we get to rewrite, reword, rephrase with the words that we get choose to speak. So when we go back, just know that it is your story. And if you do tell that story, the next time you speak it, see if you can soften it up a little. See if you can empower it more. See if you can replace more of the negative with positives. And I'm hoping as we go on this journey, you will become a lot more aware of the words that even from the next 30 days, the choices that you make have a big impact. And you'll see that the majority of words that you speak will be from a positive place. I encourage people to go back through all of my replies and try to point out the negative words that I use. Very rarely at all, especially when I'm writing. When I speak, I realize I still have to work on my pronunciations. I'm quite lazy when I speak my T's. I use apostrophes in a lot of the words I say, the abbreviated words, which we'll come on to. So I am working on it. I'm aware of it, and it is a process. And at times, the ego goes off. It's like, well, what words are you going to use? Again, I can't say anything now. Yet it's still bringing you closer and closer to the truth every time. Because eventually, when you work at something, your body's that intelligent, it says to the mind, stop thinking now. I'll record this. I'll remember this. We'll save this as an automated response. So we don't have to use any energy on this anymore. So the more we start working on the words that we speak, especially when we break it down to positive, you'll see naturally you'll start correcting yourself within the sentence as you're speaking it. It's like your soul knows what you're about to say and gives you another choice. And this is all discipline of the mind. I said thoughts, words, actions. That is really the focus. So when we're describing things in a sentence, see if you can finish the sentence on a positive. So if you're saying something that was really bad that happened, Can you now continue that sentence and maybe speak about, as an example, what you're working on now? Or in the sentence, you realize that you was quite negative with that. Follow up with a positive. Is every problem has a solution. So every negative word has a positive one. So word by word, negative or positive. We spoke about what that does to the inner body too. When you do start playing around by changing the words and then rewrite it, re-speak it, you feel it. It's empowering. So it's something I'm going to encourage you over the next few days. Just focus on the writing for now. Can you set an intention to only use positive words when you're writing, texting, typing? Set it for maybe a 1 day period to start with. Why? Because you will be met with many different conversations and situations where there is negativity on the other end. So if you don't have to think eventually about the words you are speaking or writing, then you can just focus on your thoughts and then your delivery, how it's said. Yeah, if you focus on the words, your thoughts will follow anyway. So then it's just how you say it. So think about negativity from someone else. You're meeting them always with positive. Positive always squashes the negative. Yet people don't always understand or take in the words. Yeah, if you're doing it without now thinking, because you've now mastered the thoughts too, then you get really good at how you deliver that message. That makes the full truth. It's the way the words are delivered. So there's quite a lot of examples where we can show through science the power of the words. For those of you that love plants, I'm pretty sure some of you speak to your plants. Well, we can go quite easily on Google to search speaking to plants experiment. And plants are energy. It's life. We're energy. We're life. Live. Live. We live in the moment. We're live in the moment. That's life. So we speak to plants, and with these experiments, they might do it for over 30 days. Great to do with kids to get them understanding and actually see and experience for themselves so they get their knowing about the power of positive words. And think about, as a mum or dad, knowing that your kids are going to be very particular with their words. So eventually they get to a point where they're truthful with everything they say. So if it hurts you, at least you can pay attention to the way it's delivered, ego or soul, or actually listen to what's said. Because kids speak a lot of truth. It's just a lot of time it's not accepted by the older people, the mum and dad. So we can then transform people's lives by helping people bring awareness to it. And you've seen already in this group a number of comments. People mentioned the power of the words. It's you always in control of it. So if you spoke to plants with negativity and you kept saying different words as you go in, and then there's another plant in the room and you just tell it love all the time, how beautiful it is, thank you so much, love your energy. By the end of the month, you'll see the difference clearly in the two plants. One plant's literally deteriorating. It cannot stand the energy. Another one's thriving. You can do the same. It's called the rice experiment. Put the rice in 2 containers, 2 jars. You can write and put a sticker of that word on the jar, and that will impact the energy of the rice. It's mad, but it's energy. It's intent when we write it. So speaking to the rice, you'll see the negative brings in mold. It really changes the physical. Our spirit is the truth. Our minds are the intention, and attention within the physical changes the consistency. And then you can go and search Dr. Emoto. For me, this is a great way to get anyone interested. It's a great way to confirm. It's a great way to show it as a knowing, and it will leave a mark on people because once they're aware that they're of a choice, the power of what it does in terms of influence, then you'll see that it will change because now they're choosing to go against the truth because you made them aware of it. Awareness is the key. So Dr. Emoto did an experiment. This was back in the 70s, 80s, and they would speak into water, and also they'd do the same with labels, write in, put on a capsule of water and freezing it. And you'll start seeing the beauty of life, all this creation, like a snowflake, but within the water. And every word with the energy influences the water. And you can quite clearly see love and all the words that are positive versus the opposite. There's a distortion. Some of it's not even a full crystallized shape, whereas the others are in so much harmony. And again, it's just a confirmation. So take that inwards. 70% of our body is made up of water, supposedly. That's what we're told. Well, it's not like a big lake in there and it's all sloshing around. It's all going through all your tissues. We're keeping ourselves hydrated. Yeah, if you freeze water, just one tiny bit, speak to it with words, which is ignited by a thought inside, from the feelings inside, the water going around to hydrate all your tissues, all your vital organs, to bring you oxygen, is going to influence the inner body from a positive stance. So check out Dr. Emoto and play around with bringing awareness to your words. So they say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. That's a lie. And it's that word not. And I said the English language is freedom. The people who created it have also used words with double meanings. What is a knot when you tie something up? Tied up in a knot. So when we use the word not, it means that's not a truth, but it's protected you because you can come back at any time because the time is an illusion. You can undo that knot. So it's not what you say. Remove the word not. It is what you say and how you say it. We've seen the power of words. If you just stick it on a label, it influences matter. So it does matter. So not a big one, what people will talk about is I do not know. Well, because it's a lie, you've been saved by that not, because you can come back to it and undo it, because your soul always knows. I do not remember. Your soul does remember. You just got to create the space and stillness and ask and get the answer from the Father. I do not have. It's the lie. You have it all. You have it all. And what you're unable to find right now, at some point on this spiritual journey, infinite journey, you will find it. So all things come back to the truth. So the word not, I do not know. Pay attention. So everything I'm sharing, this is all bringing awareness. So there's so many different things we can start playing around with. Life is continuous. So one thing at a time and find your knowing. So I'd like to start with a knowing when it comes to words, especially when we're talking to other people. I call them the soul words. It's power words. I am. I know. And the one that just falls a bit underneath that is I will. Listen out to when people say, I know, I am, I will. When French, Jesus is, I know. Put the I in Jesus, je suis, it's I am. So even Jesus is telling us in plain sight. And I will is the will of the man. The will is a confirmation that you will, because otherwise you're lying to yourself, and your soul can't lie because it's honesty, it's the mind that lies. So when we're speaking with people and when we're speaking those words too, you will see an uncomfort somewhere when someone says something that is not true. If you really pay attention to everything that goes before the word, the body language, when people deliver a word, sometimes they stutter, sometimes there's a big gulp beforehand, to see them sweat. Internally, you feel your heartbeat racing. Sometimes it's uncomfortable if you know you're lying. Your soul shouting you're lying. We lie to our soul. I like to share the example of, we've all done it before. We use wishy-washy words instead of I am, I know, I will. Why? Because when we speak to other people, we have to deal with their reaction. And to say something as a truth, it's more likely to be met with resistance because truth hurts. Truth is not accepted. So when people invite you out, and we've had this many times, and over the last few years, our social circles have started changing a lot. So they ask you, I'm going out tonight. Come with me. It's going to be a great night. Come. And you can feel straight away that you do not want to go. You know your truth straight away. It's instant feeling. And then they keep speaking about it even more. Now they're getting a bit persistent. And we'll say words like, oh, I'm unsure. Go on, please come. So instead of using I will, we'll say wishy-washy words instead. Yeah, I might do. Maybe. Potentially. Yeah, could do. Hopefully. And we say these wishy-washy words because it kind of leaves it open. So your soul knows the truth. You've said another word. So you're lying to your soul. And in some cases, we've already made our mind up before. So although you were true to your soul, you didn't go in the end. You lied to your mate. You lied to your friend. And we have a habit of doing this, and we don't realize how they've received it. They talk about the good night that they had, but they now have a memory of you saying, you said you were going to come. They're not aware of the full meaning of the word. So this is why I say, once you become aware of it, you'll start hearing other people say. So the word try, I correct people or call them out on it. You'll try. And when people say they try, it means they don't want to go. They didn't need to think about it. Their souls told them, yeah, I'll try, come. You'll try or you will be there. Because the other really powerful word, I am, I know, is the no. No. So it's I will or no. That is really the choice. And this takes a while to work on. Yet the more true you are to your word, when we go through on our journey, we don't have to go back and worry about things that have been said or forget or we're unsure. No, we were true. It's all positive. So when people then say, you said this, I know that that didn't come out my mouth. I know it. Also be aware of people when they use the word believe. I believe. If they really knew, they'd say, I know. Their opinions, their thoughts, we've gone through that. That's not the truth. Everyone's entitled to opinion. Yeah, if it's not a truth, then why would we put it out there? The opinions and thoughts and beliefs are all leaving it open to be challenged, to insult, to offend. Yeah, if we know it's a truth, if they've been offended or insulted by those words, you've said it as a truth. It's not your responsibility how it's received. So the difference of just being particular there, saying no and standing on it, no emotions, complete stillness, so powerful when you see them reacting. And because you've said it without any emotions, they have to really hold in their reaction. Sometimes they get uncomfortable. But you can be confident enough then to be true to your words. So the lying to your soul will come back to bite. because everything you put out there will come true. So if I go to Matthew 5:37, let what you say be simply yes or no. Anything more than this comes from evil. A simple choice, yes or no. A yes doesn't even need saying, you just know. And when you say no, it's because of the feeling inside you is not a knowing. You feel the knots inside your body. So can you see where we get quite creative with these words? So I am, I know, I will. A belief, opinion, a thought from others. Listen, because if they're not telling the truth, it means you have to pay attention, because we're tricked into making decisions through words. There's something called the legal system of legalese. And you have to be very conscious of the words that you speak, because it can be held against you. So the word I am, that is the ultimate truth. I am. The I am. If you look at the first thing in the morning on the clock, it's AM, am. You wake up as the I, had the am on. Whatever comes after I am is a truth. If you're going to protect anything, it should be the word that follows am always. That's when you pay attention. Because we label ourselves with words. How are you feeling? I am tired. I am busy. I am hungover. I am stressed. One that I used to say all the time. Guess how I was feeling? I was feeling stressed. That's why I said it. But that I am, you're literally confirming it. And the big lie in our words is when someone asks for your age. And the English language, we answer, I am. And when someone asks the age, they say, how old are you? So by answering that question anyway, you're lying instantly. You're just taking on old. And then you're saying a number that actually has no meaning or value at all apart from what you've given it, or what we're used to that number is attached to. So like a 70-year-old, you have an image. So if I am 70, that's the image that you will become. And I learned this by learning Portuguese, because when they ask you about your age, they say, how many years do you have? And the answer is, I have this many years. So there's no attachment to me, no attachment to my. In the English language, we're very quick to use the word my, me and my or mine. So I have. And we can get even more creative. Someone says, how old are you? Correct them on the old. I'm young. Answer with young at the end. And again, every time you answer, there's a lesson for them, an insight. Every time you answer, there's a little smile, it's a cheeky soul. And really deep down, it's a confirmation. Your body's saying, yes, I feel that way. I can't put this feeling into a number, especially the numbers you're thinking. It's youth all the time. It's a youthful energy. So really powerful teaching with the words is one that I encourage everyone to bring awareness to, is the word sorry. Sorry is sorrows. Going forward, I encourage people to replace sorry with thank you. Sorry is something that we will say to someone else when they've had a loss. When someone loses someone, something bad's happened to them, we say, I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I'm so sorry to hear that. You're sorry to use your ears? You're putting sorrow inside the body because you're using God's creation and you're being present for someone else. And it's a natural thing to say. And I can share a personal experience with someone that did lose a loved one. And instead of saying sorry for your loss, remember the good times. Bring awareness to the energy. Look out for the signs. Take yourself back to those moments where you were at one with them. You had those moments of joy with them. You had a laugh with them. Be creative in that response and do it from that love space, because it's the truth, which means you have to take the time in regards of what to say. And because you've had to feel the words, it's heartfelt. Yet the way it's received is from the heart. And think about a loss, that sorry comes all the time. And we got a text back working with a client, and the message back that I got, and the message that come back was, thank you so much for your message. It was a few days later. Thank you so much for your message. That was the one positive message I got, and I needed that. It's been tough. They have all the sorrow that they're going through. They're going through the sadness. They need you to be you. We only say sorry for things that when we become aware of it, maybe it wasn't the right choice. Or we're saying sorry for things that we have not done or things that we have said based on their reaction. So if we do things and we realize we were in the wrong, if it was next time I'd do it a different way, say thank you. Thank you for your teaching. I really want to thank you for making me aware of that. I learned a really powerful lesson. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your understanding. The thank yous received so well. They smile and they thank you back. No, thank you. Thank you for your patience is a great one. Sorry, I'm late. Thank you for your patience. Because if you are true to your words and you're being honest with yourself and honest with them, if you continue being late, then obviously you are unconscious. Obviously, you are made a choice and you're now fighting against it. Otherwise, there's a sign from God saying, don't go, don't go. That's why you were late. And we missed all the signs. So sorry and to thank you. And then just to explore, like looking at words. So when you write things down, read it forward and also read it backwards. And the beautiful thing about the soul is it makes sense both ways. So soulful is full soul, full of soul. So forwards and backwards and double meanings. You can actually see. So you've got forwards and backwards. I shared the other day, lost, and in the mirror, there's soul. If you look at light, if you look at time, backwards is emit. If you look at now, you're now here, backwards, one. You've won. You are one. And in the word now as letters, own. So you own your truth by being in now, then you've won. So you can start seeing there's a lot of synchronicity with words. If you look at the animal, pet dog, backwards is God. It's telling you, be like the dog, be present, be love, play, smile, be free. That's dog. Opposite of dog is cat. If we look at the words of cat, act. The opposite of dog is a cat. The opposite of God is an act. You're not being yourself. So the mind's copying someone else, a copycat. If you look at the word listen, in the letters of listen is silent. To listen, you have to be in silence, is stillness. Listening is so powerful that there's a double meaning. When you listen, you hear. By being here, when you hear, you are here. You listen, you're silent. And if you're listening from the words of other people and you heard something and you repeat those words from someone else as your truth, you are in a herd like a sheep. It's a sheep mentality. Double meanings of words. We look at the word light. We're light beings. And the clues are in the word that as a feeling as light, you feel light. The light from within, lighting. And when you raise your spirit, you become lighter. The word but. Listen out for the word but. But is like a typewriter, right? But is like a typewriter. Anything that comes after the word but is dismissed whatever said before. It's actually irrelevant of saying the first bit if you use the word but. And I keep bringing awareness to this because you'll hear people, they'll say things out of spite, but it's okay. But I ate it anyway. You just told me it looked horrible, but I ate it anyway. Why did you say it looked horrible if you ate it? So, but is a great one to catch people out. And when you say but, listen, because they're lying from the first bit. It's getting out of, I'm going to say it anyway, but is an excuse. You're pain in the butt. So we can replace but with and. Continue it. So bring awareness to that too. And then the apostrophe words don't, can't, won't. Apostrophes are abbreviated words, so almost like we're being lazy the way we speak. And we say it makes it easier for us. Yet we talk about things again in the past. Don't do this. I can't do that. I won't do this. But if you really translate it, I will not. I cannot. I do not. You're talking about now still. So it's present, even though you're talking about the past, it's present going forward. And a great example of that, I can't sleep. I used to coach a lot of people in the gym. And that was one thing, I can't sleep. What they're saying from this moment to the body, I can't sleep. And the body's like, okay. And then you keep repeating the process before it comes a truth, a lie and a truth. Inside, it's recorded, it's remembered, automatic. So instead of I can't, I choose not to take ownership of it. I won't change it. No or will. I got to do this. We can replace got. I got to go pick up the kids. I got to see my mum today. And replace it with the word I get. One change of a word, and all of a sudden I've got something to look forward to. I get to see my kids today. I get to see my parents today. So don't, can't, won't is past, bringing it forward. So change it. If that was your story, you struggled sleeping. I used to struggle sleeping. I've had a number of issues sleeping in the past. Finish the sentence. However, I'm setting intentions now before I go to bed and I'm feeling the changes. So can you see how we can start using all these different words? And I haven't really put it in any particular order today. Again, it's just to bring more awareness to the way you speak and the way that you write. If you can work on the next few days, just focusing on the text and write, because we can re-raise it. We can edit our texts. We can go back, delete some and put them in again. And once you start getting the habit of that, naturally you'll think like that. And when you're unconscious with your thoughts, they're going to be automatically positive. So then all we have to do is work on our energy, pay attention to the engagement, and then you're already all the way there. So people, enjoy this one and see what does come up for you over the next few days. And please let me know how words has changed your life. Thank you so much. And I'll see you all very, very soon. So can you see how we can start using all these different words? And I haven't really put it in any particular order today. Again, it's just to bring more awareness to the way you speak and the way that you write. If you can work on the next few days, just focusing on the text and write, because we can edit our texts. We can go back, delete some and put them in again. And once you start getting the habit of that, naturally you'll think like that. And when you're unconscious with your thoughts, they're going to be automatically positive. So then all we have to do is work on our energy, pay attention to the engagement, and then you're already all the way there. So people enjoy this one and see what does come up for you over the next few days. And please let me know how words has changed your life. Thank you so much. And I'll see you all very, very soon.